So maybe you've got a Salsa Fargo and maybe you're thinking you don't like drop bars. Maybe you want to consider something different, and this guy, he tried something different. He's got some Velo Orange Crazy Bars on a Salsa Fargo. So the Fargo being a drop bar bike, obviously, you were looking for a change. You didn't like drop bars.
No, they caused me a little hand pain on the hoods. I liked being there, but just couldn't do it very long.
Yeah.
And I like all the hand positions, but they were a little narrower, and I don't know. I think I'm kind of an elevated handlebar kind of guy, despite the geometry. Everything else seems natural for me. But so I looked around at different things, and I decided I really wanted to try these out. And I didn't have the drop bars on terribly long after I got the bike. So this has been what I've had most of the time I've had the bike.
So these are interesting just from the perspective of they've got a wide sweep, so like sweeps pretty wide, and you've got these handholds out front that just point. They really point straight out, right? I mean,
yeah,
and that's kind of unusual. And you've obviously rigged up some wanky mirrors here, and you've got an accessory bar on here with lots of gadgetry. You got a cell phone holder, and of course you got the bell, you got a compass and a thermometer, and another water bottle holder that often has the chicken in it. I know, the screaming chicken, but so what is it you like about these? I mean, aside from the fact that you went to a roll-off with the roll-off shifter, and that would have changed things anyway. The only person I know that makes a drop bar roll-off shifter is the guys out west, the custom bikes.
I don't know.
Oh, the one that Darren Alfs rides.
Oh,
Co-Motion,
right?
Co-Motion makes a roll-off shifter that will go on drop bar bikes. But what was it about these that attracted you?
Well, there are plenty of hand positions. You know, I spend a lot of time here when I'm really just kind of being leisurely and I need to shift.
More of an upright position.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time here. I don't hold on to this. I get crap in here anyway. But right here, I've spent a lot of time resting my hands like this.
Okay.
A lot like this, and I actually do this now.
So you kind of lean out.
Yeah, when you really want to stretch out some and it's not uncomfortable.
So that's almost like aero bars.
Yeah, it almost is. The other thing I do when I'm riding actually is I'll do this.
Okay.
And I'll just dangle my hands, you know, and I haven't had a lot of problems with that. This is a little awkward, but I can usually have a layer or something. So I just sort of do that, and it just gives me kind of another position, and I rest when I need to kind of lay out a little.
So those mirrors with those things, the extensions on them, have kind of turned out to give you a handhold position, which is kind of interesting.
Really strange. And we don't want to torque on them when you're climbing a hill. For that, I come down here. Or here. So this angle's a little steep, actually. I've thought about putting some gel under there, right here, in that where the sweep comes up.
Yeah.
You know, it's creates a little bit of a gap there. You know, so I'm usually here or there.
And you have these double wrapped.
Yeah, because it's a narrow gauge handlebar. It is.
So important things to know, particularly with this one. Now they might make one for the regular, what I'd call the mountain bike stem size, but this is the smaller stem size. So when you got this stem, you used to have an adjustable stem, important to note, but you switched out to, you kind of found the angle you liked, and then got just a regular static stem there. And then you got the size you needed for that. So it's just important, I guess, for everybody to know that depending upon the kind of or size bar you get, just make sure you match the stem to it. Yeah,
I did have problems with that. The adjustable stem I had was a little too big here, and so I had to use lots of shims, and it wasn't perfect. You know, I did get a little bit of this when I was climbing. So
okay. Do you find downhill you like that Aero Position too? Do you use that downhill a lot, or?
I do. Here's the one thing I was thinking about, because I do kind of do that when I'm going downhill. I lean forward, except the brakes aren't right at hand.
That's
So
true.
the drop bars, you're right on the brakes. So you got to keep that
point.
in mind.
Yeah.
There are people that have, I guess you could put
some remotes.
Interrupters or something up there. I don't know, can you do that on hydraulic brakes?
I don't know.
So, but anyway, some folks have done things like that, crazy configurations. But
Yeah.
if you're a little safety minded, you got to realize that. Little extra time to get to the brakes if you're.
Yeah. Yeah. Folks are always looking for handlebar options, I know. Like there's been a lot of activity. We did a video quite some time ago about butterfly trekking bars, which you had used previous to this, right? Before this, you were using butterfly trekking bars.
Yeah, on the other bike.
On the other bike. Mm-hmm. And you really liked that because there are a lot of hand positions.
Yeah.
Was there a reason you didn't do that on this bike?
You know, one thing I felt that I would be limited in the accessories I could use on that.
So that's one of the issues with butterfly trekking bars. When you want to mount feed bags, and we've taken them off of this, obviously, so everybody could get a good view of this. But it's not uncommon for you to have 2 or 3 different bags, maybe more, not to mention a handlebar bag and all kinds of things if we're actually touring.
Yeah.
So that's really, that was one of the challenges we had on the other bike, was fitting all that stuff on there.
And these mirrors would have been a challenge. You had to have another sort of accessory bar out to the side. It was
right. Yeah.
And I really like having mirrors.
Yeah, you're hooked on mirrors. You're the mirror guy.
mean, and look, I even got this one pointed down. I've got all kinds of craziness going on there. But you can use these accessory bars on those in some different ways, but there's not enough real estate.
Right, right. So the accessory bar, that's like just an Amazon item, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's just is this aluminum or?
I think so. Yeah.
Like an aluminum bar on these little rods. You just clamp them on there, and then you've got room to put more stuff. So you've got this cell phone holder that you've talked about before was a Instagram purchase, right?
Yeah,
you saw this advertised on Instagram, and you get the bell and your compass and your thermometer down here, and then this water bottle holder, which this little gizmo right here, that was a find at the local bike shop we've talked about before.
Kind of the closeout bin.
Closeout bin. It's just a little deal that you can put on any piece of tubing or a tube to create a little bottle rack, right? And then you put a bottle. You can put a bottle cage on it.
Yeah, and I have used it for bottle cage, but I put Javier the Screaming Chicken on there.
Yes, that's where the chicken rides often.
Something that I should mention before I got the roll off. Now I had trigger shifters here because it was a 1x11.
Right.
Then I decided I needed an extra chain ring up front, so I had a 2x11. But when I did that, I actually had a bar end shifter over here, and I liked it. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I did like it. The problem is with these handlebars that are already really wide, you're going to end up hitting it and different things.
It's one more thing hanging off the end, and if it falls over or you crash, that's going to be one of the things that's going to get scuffed and beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a factor too. I did determine that I was a fan of the bar end shifter, though. I didn't expect that.
Oh, you liked that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did, because I felt, how much trouble I had with my derailleurs and stuff.
Right.
I liked that sort of.
Which is the reason you went to roll off the Gates carbon belt drive, the whole 9 yards. So.
Yep. And it's probably important, if you're like me, I think it's important to double wrap these because, you just feel like I need a little bit more of a thicker grip to feel like I have control.
Yeah.
Like out here, it's not a problem because this has got this thick foam grips.
Yeah.
And those work pretty well.
All right, cool. Well, it's certainly another handlebar option. You don't remember exactly how much you paid for these, but we saw them online somewhere in that $60 to probably $80 range, something like that. Local bike shop got these and put them on for you and all that, but it's a really cool layout and a different design. There's so many handlebar options, and people are always wanting to know what are the different things they can get a handlebar layout, whether it's Jones or Malaco or trekking bars or these. There's just lots of options. Drop bars. There's lots of things on there. So, and one of these days we're gonna get a review in on this Fabio's chest because that's a great bag. It's been on the front and the back, and everybody can see there's some experimental work going on here.
anchoring experiments there with a little contraband cavity there.
The Fargo, though, with that geometry, that handlebar setup works really well.
I like it.
Actually. So if you're a Salsa Fargo rider out there, you might take a look at the Velo Orange Crazy Bars.
Yep.
Is what they're called. And we'll have some more stuff on the salsa stuff because there's a lot of folks out there that have expressed interest in how people are setting up their Fargos and how they're doing things. And this one's fairly unique because it's got regular handlebars instead of drop bars and Gates drive and roll-off hub and all that good jazz. And you're always changing things, so that makes it interesting too, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's we've talked about it like being Mr. Potato Head. I'm switching it up all the time.
That's right. That is right. All right, man. Well, thanks for bringing it down and letting us do this video because I think it'll be a great thing out there. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again soon.